I'm Jeremy Clegg. I'm a Vice President of Administration of the Academy of International Business, and I am Jean Monnet Professor of European Integration and International Business Management in the Centre for International Business, University of Leeds, in Leeds University Business School. I'd like to talk to you about Brexit and what it means for international business. Brexit is the term that we use for the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union. This is something that is unprecedented. No country has taken itself out of the European Union before. So therefore we are in uncharted territory. The situation for the United Kingdom and its businesses outside of the European Union is not yet worked out. There are certain options. The UK might remain part of the European Economic Area, in which case it would still participate in the internal market of the EU. It might, rather than that, it might have bilateral agreements with the European Union, which would have to be negotiated at great length over the coming years. If not bilateral agreements, then the UK would have to rely on WTO, World Trade Organization preferences, which would be exactly the same for any country in the world which had never been a member of the European Union. This position for the United Kingdom affects the prosperity of its firms. Its firms include not only multinationals but also small and medium-sized enterprises. The effects we expect, and all the economic analysis suggests, would be negative. And they'd be negative because basically the freedom of movement of people, goods, capital and services within the European Union would be impeded. Therefore, the efficiency with which markets are organised would be reduced. That means to say the growth of income would fall. All the economic analysis suggests that. The reason for the United Kingdom people voting for Brexit are largely probably social rather than economic. The idea that sovereignty is more important than economic prosperity, although it isn't really very clear in the minds of the voters themselves. So we have a disjoint between economic prosperity and social problems. These may be repeated around the world and also in Europe. So it's perfectly possible that there might be similar movements in other parts of the European Union, but we can't anticipate any of that yet. Almost certainly, trade will become more difficult for firms located in the United Kingdom. Almost certainly, foreign investment will be more difficult for the United Kingdom firms, not only in the EU, but also in the rest of the world, because the EU will have trade and investment agreements with other countries, major countries of the world like China, but the UK will not. Or it will have to take quite a lot of time and effort to reproduce its own agreements with the rest of the world and try and get back to the position that it would have been in if it had been able to work within the European Union and, in a sense, benefit from the negotiating power of the EU. So the United Kingdom is likely to be a weaker force in the world economy and to get a poorer deal for its firms as a result of coming out of the EU. It's therefore not a very good outcome at all, and it's very likely that analysts and certainly economists and commentators will be watching what happens to the United Kingdom and its firms very closely over the coming weeks, months, and indeed years, as the consequences of this momentous referendum are worked out.